There are times that we seem not to be able to stay to catch up with what the liturgical calendar calls for, because today has expanded into a feast day of Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, and all the liturgical books that we currently use just has Martha, and so we're celebrating the feast of Martha, Mary, and Lazarus as three wonderful figures in the New Testament. And we also hear about Moses and the building of the Ten Commandments and the dwelling place for God in the Old Testament. Beautiful scriptures are presented to us this morning. We hear and we respond that how lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord. And we realize that the dwelling place of the Lord has many appearances. In the Old Testament, we hear that Moses built a dwelling place for the Ark of the Covenant, and above all, God reveals in that he wishes to dwell in the midst of his people. And that's so important. That's the bedrock of faith, that God dwells with his people. And in the Old Testament times, we certainly hear it visibly coming across to us, that as the scriptures tell us, that by day God led them in the cloud, and by night he was there in the fire of his loving presence. There are many ways that we can experience the dwelling of God amongst us. We pray that we will be able to recognize the beautiful encounter that God is always presenting to us. But we have to have the ability to recognize that presence. In the gospel and today's feast, we hear the presentation of three different experiences of God dwelling in Jesus and Jesus' relationship with Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. In Martha, we're given the example of service, hospitality, friendship, and that service is there, and faith in believing that Jesus could raise her brother Lazarus. In Martha, in Mary, we hear how God dwells in his word, in the word of Jesus. And Mary's always attentive to listening to recognize what God is speaking, what God is calling us to. And of course, in their brother Lazarus, who reveals that death does not have an end, but instead life everlasting. The dwelling place of God is experienced in so many different ways. In the gospel, again, we recognize that God is present to the family of Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. God is present in the relationship that they each individually enjoyed with Jesus, their friend. God dwells in the relationship of community and the church assembled here in prayer. We celebrate the many unique experiences that God is inviting us to experience his love in so many wonderful, loving relationships. And so we thank God for those relationships. We thank God for calling us to be more aware of how he is present to us, leading us and guiding us. And so we pray in thanksgiving for the example of Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. And we pray that we will be able to have that same experience and and recognize deeply with the psalmist how lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord our God.